diva?
No, you may not. Just kidding.
No. No, I'm actually allergic, believe it or not. I know. I was just in Italy for a month. It was like the worst. Everyone would laugh at me because we'd get to the restaurant and be like, "Excuse me, do you have vodka?" Like, like it's not really. I know, it's a real bummer. I mean, not that, it's not a bummer to be in Italy, but.
So I get to enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're pretty successful yourself. So how do you tap into this whole struggling artist part of the story and the character?
Well, I think for me,
You're already there,
That's so nice of you to say. I kind of feel like I still don't know that. Maybe for I mean, I definitely can look at my years in the past and go, okay, this year's better than last year. And it's always just like a slight. For me, it's always just been a slight. A little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of been great to have that rather than like one thing that goes, for some people that's what happens. For me, it has just been a slight every year a little better. So yeah, I guess for me, I still feel like I'm just working toward something. I feel for me too is like I like to make things and I like to share them, and I've always done that since I was little, and so. It's just really nice to be able to, like with the movie, my character. Hold on, sorry. So wait, are we all? Is this like, are we all in this together?
No, you're gonna be moving over there afterwards. Yeah.
I'm gonna come over here.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. All right, cool. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to like do this. All right, cool. You can all enjoy your lunch. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what I was wondering. So, what was the question? No. Oh, well, yeah, but it's very easy for me to, I think a lot of performers always have that feeling of, oh, this could end, this might not always be what it is right now. So I just think, this group in the movie is not far off from what I've experienced in my life. And I was not in an improv group, but I'm in a comedy duo, and that person becomes your family, and you tour the country, and and you have each other, and the commune has each other, and so it was very similar in that way.
Thank you.
You two have gone off to do different projects.
Yeah.
So you still will do stuff together, or you just kind of?
Yeah, we actually just played Vegas on Saturday, and that was our first show in quite a while because it's kind of been really cool to, it's sort of how it wasn't an intentional thing, like, okay, now we're going to do separate things. It just sort of happened at the same time that I went off and did a bunch of movies, and Ricky went off to showrun and create another period, which is, they're going to start their third season coming up. So yeah, I mean, I'm so lucky that we're both really happily busy doing our own things, and yet it's so nice. It actually makes me appreciate it even more when we come together. And just over the weekend we were practicing our songs, and we were like making this medley of songs together, going, oh gosh, this is so much fun, because you have a break from it and you realize how lucky you are to have each other.
Will you be back on another period?
I believe I'm in next week's episode, I've been told. So yes, I think it airs next week. Yeah, or no, that would be this week, Wednesday. Yeah. Oh, thank you.
The characters in the film have very specific characteristics, personalities, and I was just curious, especially just from your own character, how much of it was on the page versus what you brought yourself?
For my character, well, the script was so beautiful. Like, I read it and I cried, and I also could relate to it. And so I think the thing about the movie is I feel like everyone can relate to it in some way. Even if you're not a creative person, whatever you do and whatever your passion is, you can kind of relay it into this movie. But yeah, so I read the script, and I immediately was like, oh, I love this. I think I said to Mike, I can't wait to see this movie. Like, even if I'm not in it, I can't wait to see it. But my character of Allison originally was a writer, and Mike had seen my cartoons, and I just I'm a cartoonist, I just put them online, and I've actually had three art shows in the past year, which is sort of crazy. I think we might take a break for a second, and maybe in a year, but he said, would it be cool if we make this character a cartoonist? What do you think? And I was like, yeah, that's great. I was so excited. So yeah, that was a kind of neat thing to be able to bring to the character. Yeah, I think Chris's character of Bill and myself, I feel like we're kind of sort of at the same, maybe we're about the same level in as far as like where we fit into the group. And I think we're maybe comfortable with each other because, I mean, we're all comfortable with each other in the movie. We're all family in some way, but I think we both see a bit of each other, like in ourselves in the other characters. So yeah, I think we both probably think, okay, this is a safe person to pair up with. We're kind of at the same speed, you know. That was my takeaway from it. But in real life, we realized my last name is Micucci, and Chris's name is Gethard, but Get Hard. So we were like, we should really do a show in real life called Get Hard and Micucci. What? And I'm really hopeful that's going to happen. I'm brainstorming on what's the angle, but I really want to do some live show, you know, in Brooklyn or something. We have to. The name just says like we've got to do this. So yeah, that's the hope.
What do you know that you've made? Have you been at that point yet?
Oh gosh, I mean, there are little things like I love raspberries, and that's a more expensive fruit, and I was always like, you know, I'd go to get apples because I could afford apples, and I remember the day that I bought raspberries and I didn't look at the price, and I thought, oh my God, I've made it, you know? I think also like the moment you stop crying about rent and trying to figure out how, I mean, I can remember I had so many weird odd jobs, and you know, that moment where you just kind of turn the corner and you're like, oh, hey, I can pay my rent, and I've the day I paid off my student loans was a big one. I don't know that it's like actually like making it like, you know, it's not like walking down the street and, you know, everyone like knowing what you do. Like that's not, for me, that's not that important. I feel like it's just about, you know, putting your stuff out there and being able to pay the rent while doing it, you know.
Do you have any like animators who inspire you? 'Cause you said you
Cartoonists and things? Well, I'm such a fan of Charles Schultz and Peanuts. I just like, it's funny because I always loved it since I was a little kid, and now as I'm older, when I look back on those cartoons and I read them, I'm like, oh, I think I didn't even, you connect with this underdog, you know, like that character really resonates, I think, with so many people. And I think Charlie Brown has influenced me in ways I didn't even realize until, you know, more, you know, recently I was rereading some and going, oh, wow, like, I get Charlie Brown, you know. Really? Oh yeah, Snoopy's great. Ira Glass and I, I was a birthday party clown for 1 week back in 2002, and Ira was a magician, like a birthday party magician when he was a kid. So the other day we did a balloon off at one of the Q&As in New York, and I brought my best, like, just dog. I don't know how to make fancy things. I don't remember. But he makes an amazing Snoopy, and so he gave me a balloon lesson on how to make Snoopy. It was pretty great. Yeah.
And Keegan told us that for a movie about improv, this is pretty scripted, you know, down to the details. I mean,
yeah.
How's that for you? I mean, I thought that you just get some creative liberties to work with your character somehow, or does Mike say, okay, stick with this one?
Mike is a really great director. Like he gave us room to. He wanted us to bring whatever we could to the part, but the script is also so amazing and so well written that you also just want to honor what he did at the same time. But it was not a place where, you know, like some sets you feel like the pressure to say the line exactly word for word, and this was not the case. Like, you know, it felt very natural, and he never, it was ever like, you know, some crazy like, and here we go action. Like, it just all really like was a nice flow to the whole, you know, when we were shooting, it never felt like there was a direct like, we need to do this now. I mean, you feel the pressure of time, of course, because, you know, it's an independent movie and you have so many, you know, hours to get your day. But it never was like, oh, you need to say this line the way it is written. And within that, there's some really amazing improvs that happen, you know, throughout. But it's still, you know, also some of the improv scenes are scripted and some of them are improvisation. But yeah, there was like, it wasn't like a do this, you know.
Did you know some of your fellow cast members beforehand? Because there's such a feeling of camaraderie.
That is,
You know, among the cast. It's very believable that you've known each other for 11 years or whatever.
I feel like it was such a bit of luck for all of us that I mean, not to sound all mushy, but I really fell in love with everyone really quickly. I think we all did. Like, we had 2 weeks to rehearse and get to know each other, and Mike took us bowling, and we'd go out to eat, and I knew everyone a little bit. Like, either being, you know, social things, or, you know, I knew Keegan from doing a couple like things at the Improv, and I knew Mike from we almost opened for him, and then like we kind of kept in touch a little bit. Like everybody was just a little, and then Tammy I saw do improv at a Halloween party in like 2007, and I was like, oh, I want to know this person. And so like we all knew each other a little bit, and then we got together and it just clicked. And that, you can't plan for. You really, that was just a really lucky thing that we all really just, it felt, after 2 weeks of hanging out, it felt like we had been together so much longer, thankfully.
You're such a multi-talented artist, actress, comedian, musician.
Oh, thank you.
Is there someone that you think sparked that for you as a kid? Do you have any role model or one thing that really was like, oh my gosh, I want to be in the artistic, creative world?
I just was really lucky to grow up in a house. Like, we didn't have a lot of money at all, but it was, but the arts were that was the thing. My mom would take us to plays, and I started taking piano lessons when I was 4, and going to trips to the art store were like a big deal. And my mom would let me pick out one thing, so like, and it was like, I was always just given the tools to make things. And I always was I think I just kind of was a person that always made things, and I've always been a quick, like, want to share things right away, like quick to share. So I mean, for good or bad, like I still kind of like will just throw things up or make a song and play it that night and like see if it works or not, So I think those things that I did when I was little have really carried into my grown-up life. Not that I feel like a grown-up, even though I'm in my mid-30s.
Did you have any inspiration from doing a comedy room, like the character either based on your own experiences?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't in a group, but just growing up with that alternative comedy scene, Ricky, my comedy partner, and I kind of got into that scene right at an amazing time where, like, UCB was really taking off, and we started doing, at the time it was called Comedy Death Ray, and we were thrown in with these people that we, admired for so long, and it was really kind of cool to become part of that alternative community. And we're not stand-ups, we've always been like, we're musical comedy, so it's like a little bit off to the side, but we do stand-up shows, we're on those bills. And so yeah, I mean, I was able to kind of take a lot of just like understanding what it's like to be backstage and having that, like, the pre-show rituals, and even though like the comics that we came up with aren't necessarily like, it's not like the commune where you're living together and feeling like a family, it sort of does feel like a family in a way, or like at least like cousins, so I mean, I was able to take, my knowledge of just what it's like to be in the comedy community and put that into the movie. I don't know. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Here in LA, or?
UCB?
Oh, yeah, nice. I mean, that's a crazy thing. UCB, it's all everywhere. Like, even just this theater here down the street, it's open for, I think, a year and a half or 2 years, and it's like, they're popping up everywhere, and it's really awesome. Because I remember, like, thinking with improv, you don't have to want to be an actor or a comedian to take the classes. Anyone can do them, and I think it helps in any walk of life,
Well, what made you want to do this? What made you want to be an actor?
An actor? Yeah, I've always wanted to, I don't know, like, it's a sort of something that I've always felt passionate about and was in plays, and my brother and I would make movies in the backyard. And most of them can never be seen ever again because they're just so embarrassing. But yeah, I think it was just something that, like, there wasn't a question in my mind. I was shy about telling people. I moved out to LA for college, and I didn't tell people that I wanted to be an actress because it feels like a very strange goal. It's like, sure, who doesn't? Like, it seems like a funny thing to say, or at least I felt that way. So I didn't tell people. I just sort of started to do it. And then I remember I was on a few commercials, and my mom was like, so are you trying to be an actress now? And I was like, yeah. So I was really shy. That's the funny thing, too. I was a very shy kid. For someone who was in the plays and, out there in some way, I was still super shy,
You don't strike me shy at all.
Yeah, I turned a corner at like 21. I don't know what happened.
So what would your advice be for somebody who's trying to come into this business, improv or whatsoever, knowing that it's going to be pretty difficult up ahead, your dream might not be, there might be a chance that it might not be accomplished,
Yeah, well, I think, I mean, I think it's just about following your gut and doing what makes you happy, you know, and making sure that, like, just keeping that in check. And sometimes it's really difficult, especially when people all around you are, like, going for the same goal. It's just, like, knowing that you alone are the only person who can do the thing you're going to do. So, like, you know, I always say stay in your own lane and also make your own content. I feel like now more than ever you have, you know, even when I first started, like, YouTube was just starting when I started my comedy band, and, you know, that was a brand new platform. But now it's like you can easily make things and film them on your phone and get them out there. And so, like, yeah, making your own content is a way to, you know, keep things going when, you know, while you're waiting for the other jobs to come in. And it can really help keep you sane. So, and also I think, like, just finding the other things that aren't at all related to acting, just like if it's like going to the beach. I know this sounds cheesy, but if going to the beach makes you happy, make sure you do it, because it's like you need, especially in LA, you need time to clear your head. So, yeah.
You mentioned that you were in plays growing up.
Yeah.
Do you remember any memorable roles, memorable experiences, fond memories?
Well, like I said, I was really shy, and so I would be in all the musicals, but I was, like, so happy to just be in the chorus, and then I would lip sync because I didn't think I could really sing. So that really says a lot about where I was at. But I was happy to be on the stage, but just, like, lip syncing to Oklahoma in the background. But by the time I was in, I did West Side Story, and I actually had, like, lines, and that was exciting. So. But yeah, I mean, I did all the musicals, like all the standards, Oliver, South Pacific, King and I, like, you know, just the good Rogers and Hammerstein.
So what would you say to get the audience to come out to see this film here in Los Angeles? What would you say?
I just think that this movie is really beautiful, and it tells a story that I think everyone can relate to, not just, even if you don't know anything about improv. I think it's a movie that's universal, you know, like the emotions of going for your dream. It's something that everyone can relate to. And yeah, I think people seem to really be responding to it. New York last weekend was incredible, and so yeah, I hope people find it here in LA just as exciting. So. Thank you. Yeah, it's the same feeling I had when I first read the script. I have when I watched the movie, and I think that says so much about Mike and what a great storyteller he is, because he really was able to, you know, follow it through and make something that feels good, you know, even when it doesn't, it feels good, you know, because it is a gut punch, you know.
It's so relatable, like the line about in your 20s you have hope, but then by the time you're in your 30s you feel like it's dumb hope. That's
Yeah.
so relatable.
Well, that's the thing about Los Angeles is we all put off our being grown up. I have friends who are my age and, you know, being in your mid-30s and like, yeah, like getting married, you're like, what? That's crazy. Or like, you're going to have a kid? Are you nuts? And then I'm like, oh, wait, everybody else is already on their second or third marriage and their kids are in high school. But like here we just kind of, we put off growing up as long as we can. And so I think the movie has something, you know, it says that too. It says about, you know, living like a younger person, you know.
LA has very much an extended state of adolescence.
Yeah.
And New York as well, but I think other places too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always a crazy, like, shock when I go back to my hometown in Pennsylvania and I run into my high school friends and there are many children who are, like, driving cars. Yeah. Sure. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Nice talking with you. Oh, yeah.